Hello, Warriors, BOE. I want to get right to Ryan on BOE. How are you, Ryan? So you called, was this dovish enough?
Nope, not so far.
Okay. So we're down here. I'm looking just for a little bit lower, but I think that we're getting close to a fade in this bounce in the dollar. And one thing I did notice here, and I've taken a position on the short side of Canada because it's a second lower high, risking this high. So with the dollar strong today, I'm not impressed. Yesterday I was, I'm not anymore. So, dollar is almost back at its breakdown at, 106. I don't think we'll get through it. We might try it, but this is underperforming. Are you doing anything with cable here?
Yeah, I've had a nibble at 124.59. We've got that big old historical pivot area, 124.50.
Yeah, I liked it.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and this doesn't seem as dovish as the market wanted. There's a few little hints in there, but the language hasn't really changed. So I think we're going to wait until just in case Bailey lobs in a last minute grenade, or I think the market potentially will start going higher again.
Okay, getting kind of a big wick during this in EG.
Yeah,
Um,
all over the place.
yeah, trying the short side, risking 50.
Good luck,
So
mate.
that's it. Yeah, I'm surprised. Gold, the metals they're strong. Doesn't matter if the dollar's weak, dollar's strong. Um, they act good. And, we are getting a bounce in yields a bit. So I think yields and the dollar are trading pretty closely together. But I don't think the 10-year gets back above 460 I'm not ready to sell them yet. But anyway, that's
At
the way
least
that
until the next CPI report.
you know what, that's going to be a big thing for the whole market, isn't it, next week?
Yeah,
Okay.
we just
Uh,
swing, don't we? We just swing between the Fed, the data points, the Fed, the data points, and yeah, that's all you can do.
Blake was talking about 156 or so. Here we are in US dollar yen. Is this a decent sell zone, Blake? Are you trying it here?
I'm not. I'm more. And good morning, guys.
Hey, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Hey, Dale, you could appreciate this. I was at a high school baseball game playoff, final, not the final game, but and boy, we didn't get out of there till 10:30 last night.
Okay, so I know how you feel.
Yeah, a
All
little bit
right.
of a train wreck. Anyway, as far as the dollar yen goes, no, I'm not fading it. I'd actually be more of a proponent of buying any dip. And you talked a little bit about dollars, and should we be fading the dollar here? Look, we got unemployment claims. It's one of the best looks that we're going to get, or actually most real time looks that we're going to get in employment. And maybe we've seen a little bit of softer data recently. Maybe today's data ticks up a little bit, and if it does, maybe that loosens up the dollar yen back to the downside, and maybe the dollar index as well. So just some food for thought.
Okay. Uh, man, good morning.
Good morning, Dale. Good morning, everybody.
So, what's on your agenda here?
Well, I was hoping to get a clear picture on the Mexican data that just came out, the inflation data, to get a good idea about what Mexico may do. But it's a real mixed picture. The headline number comes in higher, and the core number comes in lower than expected. So I'd say if you play soccer, 1-1, ball back in the middle, and let's see what they do. I really don't know. I was hoping for a bit of a clearer signal there. For the rest, yeah, I think on that Sterling thing, most of it was baked in. I don't see anything more hawkish or even more dovish than what the market was expecting. So perhaps market running a little short Sterling right now into the meeting, but I don't see it rushing away either. I don't think the positions in the market are that big. Other thing, what have I got on my radar? Well, I'm still my base positions, short Swiss franc and a little tad short euro dollar, just to see if we can break below this 107. What is it, 25.30, and have a look at 107. But I'm really not having a lot of stuff in there. Dollar rand is on my radar. For those who trade emerging market currencies, we just had the manufacturing production out, and rand was strengthening until then, but it's a pretty awful number. So I just tiptoed in a small long dollar rand. But again, my positions are not of the sort of risking my account because I've got a bit of trouble to find a real clear picture in this.
Okay. Anyone have a, I know, your book is long, Canada. Anyone else kind of disappointed with the second lower high in Canada?
Dale, I'll throw in there. This was actually for last night. I did the trade-off show with Chris Weston before I went to that baseball game.
Yeah.
Ironically, and the dollar CAD is actually my play of the day, and just to cut to the chase, I see it as a triangle. So therefore, I do see a little bit of downside to like 136.50, but I actually want to be long down there. That's how I'd rather play it. But that doesn't mean, look, we're in a real choppy market, so it looks like we'll get some two-way price action, and I think the dollar does look a little. I would agree with you. It looks unimpressive at this point. It looks everything looks just corrective. So if the dollar does correct, the dollar Canadian's not going to be immune to a dollar sell-off, and I think 136.50 would be a nice minimum target. And maybe you get a little lucky, and some of the data works in your favor. We could maybe even get as low as 136. So I like it. I like what you're thinking here.
Okay. I just noticed this for possible, if it challenges or takes out this low, kind of like a speed line down here.
Yeah. It's like a descending channel or a triangle, and I see it as a triangle first because that's going to be the first level you'd come up to. But if that breaks, then you got this descending channel that's probably going to play. So
yeah, okay. Let's see it.
Here I was just updating the ForexAnalytix chat room here. I'll just I'll do this with you guys so you guys can see it. Give me 1 second. I'm pulling everything over. So there's ForexAnalytix. Here's the ForexAnalytix chat room. I'll give you guys an example of something that I'm actually going to be posting in the room right now. I can't type and talk at the same time, so let's you guys can read it as I go.
So this is the kind of content, guys, that you're not in the community, you're getting from Blake and Steve and
all
the traders and Ryan, during F.A.C.E, and F.A.C.E is just the tip of the iceberg. It's only a half an hour of analysis. These guys are at it almost 24 hours. The room is
almost, except when I'm at a damn baseball game and stuck at a baseball game.
Yeah.
But anyway, so with the Canadian, you can see it right here.
Okay.
This is
nice.
Exactly what. So you can see it now. Remember 136. Excuse my dyslexia this morning. That's called 4.5 hours of sleep. You can see this is a really big level that had to be broken, because this is, I would say, and I know K-Man and Ryan, we were all on this. This is really one of my trades of my quarter. Really, it kind of made my P&L between that and the Swiss franc. That was like my first quarter, like both my big trades where I was in size, and I think most of us were playing the dollar Canadian on the breakout there. So I understand how big of a level it is, and I understand that any dip when you get down to like 136.50, 136 is going to be probably aggressively bought. And, you know, I think we have a lot of Canadians listening in here, and I think we've done enough interviews where most, you know, whether it's Dale or myself on Trader Summit, we all know the reasons why the Canadian economy should continue to be maybe underperforming, you know, for the next 6 to 12 months at least. So therefore, I really prefer to play the Canadian on the short side. But like I said, Dale, I don't disagree with you. I think that there's a very good chance that we could slip back down towards the support on the triangle. So anyway,
Could
there's
I
my
see
view
your
on it.
WTI chart, Blake? Because you know, yesterday it put in a nice reversal. I kind of tweeted
A bullish
normal.
outside day. Yep.
Yeah, I tweeted normal correction in the crude, and impressive reversal day, and abnormal Middle East. So that's a nice level there.
It
For
is.
the
And
bulls.
so like if like I'll just show you what I wrote yesterday, because this way you know have a kind of a understanding even though this is a head and shoulder pattern, this is a false breakdown and it's a bullish outside day. So it's
Yeah.
going to put the 200 DMA in play again. As you can see, the warning there on ForexAnalytix, bears be careful. You know, we're up a little bit today, and you know, this was typed yesterday, you know, right
Yeah.
after the market closed. You know, we're probably gonna test the 200 DMA, and then there's a good chance that we can just, you know, test the neckline. And then, you know, if we really want to test the resolve of anybody who's bearish, all we need is a good Middle East headline, and next thing you
Yeah.
know, crude's much stronger, right?
Yeah, back over 80 ought to seal it.
Yeah. I mean, so I think a lot of that is playing right now. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's
Nice look.
it does look a little like a little squeezy. Hey, I want to real quick. I know, Ryan, you said that you didn't hear anything dovish from Bailey. I again, I'm a little skittish or tired here. How you know, I see the Sterling's rallying back. Is his press conference still going?
Unfortunately, yes.
Oh, okay. So has he said anything else that's spurred this recovery, or is this more of just a dollar recovery? You know, that you're seeing you know, all around for dollar
No,
sell. I mean,
we've been talking about it. You know, the market was a bit dovish going into it. It got the 7-2 vote, which was probably about 50-50 expected between that and the 8-1. Well, maybe a bit more so, as the market seems to say. The only comment of choice is that, well, half comment of choice is that June, they could possibly go in June, but they might not go in June as well. So it's not definitive, but it's a possibility. We've got two inflation reports before the June meeting, so it could be the decider. Those could be the decider. I think they're barking up the wrong tree. I still think August at the very earliest. But yeah, there's been nothing since in the comments. The statement didn't change its language. They didn't have more confidence about inflation getting closer, you know, that sort of thing. So I think they've got one more step to go in language before they start saying cuts are imminent. But yeah, the market was too dovish going into it, and we're seeing a reversal.
got it. All right. Well, you know, that's been the case with a lot of these central bank meetings. Everybody comes in leaning one direction, and then you know, gets disappointed, and we see a bit of a reversal. And so it sounds like that's what we might have here. And you know, just looking at price action here, Dale, I know you said a little earlier you're looking for a little lower prices. Just a little lower would be the
Yeah.
618 retracement, right?
That's what I was looking for. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, I don't know if we're
May
going to
not
get there
get it.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you look at all these lows, and you just realize that, oh shoot, the market may have just stopped out everybody.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
got all
It
the
was enough.
all the John G's chasing the market lower, and then next thing you
Right.
know, it's, you know, up in their face. So yeah.
And they're turning EG a little bit here too. So, you know, that might be part of.
Yeah, and this,
Look at that
I
wick.
mean, I've been really surprised with Euro sterling. Well, actually, I wasn't surprised. We've been waiting for a 200 DMA test like all week, but it went up pretty aggressively. So you know, maybe it's the time for the sterling to recover. I know we just recently tweeted out this megaphone pattern in the pound New Zealand. You can see that trend line and 200 DMA, nice little confluence there. 50% retracement too, not too far away. So, you know, maybe sterling just technically will get a little bit of support. Let's ask K-Man, you know, do you see anything in what's happening in this dollar mex? Because I do see the dollar mex seems a little supported here following that inflation data.
Yeah, well, you can say it's supported, but we are still well below where we were a week ago, you know.
This is true. Good point.
No, I think we now really have to wait for the Banxico, because I mean I can't take a position or can't think of what they really want to come out with as a statement on the back of those inflation data. Headline up, core down. I mean, there you go.
Didn't we just have and correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Brazil just cut?
Yeah, 25 BPs, but I mean the rest of LATAM, I mean Mexico is so much closer to the US right now, right?
Right.
Wise, everything wise. So I think it's you have to take it either separately from the rest of LATAM, but we can't deny that they are at very, very lofty interest rates. But the governance is not a dove, okay? So we could have like a somewhere the market is thinking a dovish hold, so holding but then signaling cuts to come, which is logic. Everybody is there apart from the Bank of Japan, or if this report would have been weaker, I would have said they could have done a 25 BP cut and then be more neutral, but this inflation report is really putting me on the fence right now, and really thinking like I will decide only when I know what they and she is going to say or to do. Really, I really don't know what to do with this right here and now. What I do think though is that whatever happens today, unless they go all dovish all of a sudden, is that regardless of whatever they do today, whether first makes weakens a little bit on a cut, or when they are dovish weakens a little bit, it's still going to be at least 10.75, if not 11% currency. And the data are not really falling out of bed yet. And you look at the US, it's about not the same picture, of course, as the United States, but it's similar with even more higher interest rates. So I think that at the end of the road, if nothing too dovish comes out, MEX is still going to keep a pretty decent bid under it.
So maybe a good summation here is you see the 200 DMA in this previous channel, and he moved back up towards 1750 or 1750, excuse me, 1715 or 1720. Might offer a good opportunity to be on the short side following Banxico. Banxico, for those of you that do not know, is their rate decision is at 3 p.m. Eastern. Dale, that's noon for us. So it could be a mover, and that's exactly what K-Man was just pointing out to.
You know, when K-Man was talking, one thing came to mind when you brought up the price, and he said, well, you know, it was there a week ago too. So to me, that smacks of consolidation, that it's, you know, just moving sideways after a big move like that. I'm not saying we can't go back to the black line of your channel for a retest, but the move up was pretty powerful. And for it to be at the same level it was a week ago, tells me that all it's doing is consolidating those gains.
It is, but who's winning here, Dale? It's the guys carrying pesos right now, right?
Yeah.
You know, if you're short dollar max or short euro max, and you're
carry charge.
You're getting the carry for right now, and that's all they care about. They care about it, you know, the price stability, as Trichet would say.
Do futures.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk about something a little bit different. Let's talk about what the fudge sickle is happening in the German DAX, breaking all-time highs. I know our targets would take us to channel resistance, which, you know, and then you can see the butterfly here. Channel resistance comes up to about there, and then, you know, the butterfly extension would take us basically to, you know, 19,200, and we're breaking into new all-time highs in the DAX. So what momentum, Dale? Look at that. I mean, you got between the DAX, you got FTSE. Look at, I mean, Ryan and K-Man are getting absolutely stinking rich right now.
Yeah.
Stinking rich.
Well, I would, you brought up the word momentum, so go back to DAX.
Yeah, it's very divergent.
There you go.
Very.
All right. So, I mean, that's glaring.
But
glaring.
It's so glaring.
Doesn't mean it can't go.
Right. So just imagine, like, you know, you get a rally to back to here.
It's not going there.
I mean, okay, let's say it goes. Let's say it goes to here. You know, if it goes to there, that still puts price up here.
Yeah,
makes it a great short up there, but that means there's still a lot of upside in it if it decides to continue to rally.
Yep.
So
U.S. market's lagging. We haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, Ryan, you're getting stinking rich off the FTSE. Tell us what's happening in European equities right now.
The new Bitcoin.
Hey, how rich are we? I think we can. I think we can go and buy each other lunch. I think
the FTSE is the new Bitcoin, mate. It's going to 60,000.
It's a new Nikkei. It's a new Nikkei.
It's ripping. I mean,
Nikkei looks ugly.
Even France is taking off a little bit. I mean, you know, these European markets look great. I was talking to Chris Weston yesterday, and I was like, it's a relay race. You know, you have U.S. markets are a little underperforming. They passed off the baton to China, and you see some of the Chinese markets, you know, took off. You know, Nifty took off, you know, a couple months ago or a month ago. Then they passed everything off to Europe, and now Europe. This is all. You know, if you guys think this is like, you know, this is all just money's not fleeing the market. Money's just being moved around markets. You're not seeing anything come into the dollar right now. You're just seeing money, you know, shifting from one pocket to the next. And that's called rotation, you know, by most asset managers. So
some people call it Ponzi.
Some people call it a Ponzi scheme. There you go. You guys have any comments about European equities and this rip roaring rally that we got here?
It just doesn't match up the data, does it?
Go ahead, K-Man.
Okay, I think George made a fair point. I mean, it's the upcoming cuts probably that the market is happy about. It's still all with. I think it's much more now expectations related, and what I've been saying so many times, money has to go to work, and if you have money, where do you go? Well, in things that are likely going to make you money. So if nothing else moves, you have to put your money somewhere, right?
Rotation. That's right.
They're not putting it in Japan anymore.
No, I mean, again, it's a baton, right? It's a relay race, you know, passing off. But yeah, speaking of the Nikkei, we should probably look at this. And matter of fact, K-Man, let's talk a little bit about the yen. I briefly just said, you know, I don't want to stand in front of it right now. I think the BOJ and the Ministry of Finance have done a decent job of slowing the roll of the yen weakness for now. But, you know, would they necessarily worry if the dollar yen over the next you know, couple months makes it to 162 and then 165? Probably not. You know, and they probably welcome it to usher in a little bit more inflation. But look at the Nikkei; it looks vulnerable, and I'm glad you brought this up, Dale, because you know we have this bearish pennant that actually could play out to the downside, back to the breakout point, and I don't want to. Whoops, that wasn't what I wanted to. I'll just take it. Dang it. I'm screwing that up. Let me grab this line. There we go. No, not that one. This one. This one. There we go. Now you can see it would take us out to the breakout point on a breakdown of that flag. So, you know, let's go. K-Man, what do you think about the yen here? Because do you agree with me?
I think the Nikkei is perhaps coming down a bit because also we've had those bit of rebalancing. We may have we've had a one rate hike. Also, a few articles out about the stuff that Buffett invested in is perhaps well, or is at little risk of not granting as much return that he would have wished. But I don't think Buffett is going to walk out, but perhaps it's all his suite of followers that are perhaps leaving the ship a little bit. And then you have 2 days in a row where Ueda is now talking about F.A.C.E. So as Ryan said, he must have had a little bit of a finger slap to from the MOF and perhaps even Kishida the other day. But there's a bit of risk, and actually, if you look at the JGB yields, they have now ticked up like 4 or 5 BP since yesterday. I think that if he continues to talk this way, we are going to have to take into account that they may hike rates much earlier than what the market is expecting, because the market is expecting them to hike only in Q3 this year. There may be a bit of a we need to have to revise it a little bit, because with the yen being here, and he's talking a lot about it, they may be pushed towards more or earlier hikes. Let's put it that way. And it may not mean much right now, and we may have to wait until mid-June, which is still a lot if you pay away carry. But it may, the closer we come to the date, it may start to slow down. Perhaps this yen sell-off. We spoke about it in length on the Flow Show as well this morning about this possibility, and I wrote something up in the in our chat room as well this morning.
All right. Well, thank you very much for that update. I mean, you know, I've always been in the idea of that the BOJ is going to be it's going to be one of those slowly, like, hey, we're gonna ratchet rates up at a very slow pace, and then all of a sudden they're going to be, you know, next thing you know, it's going to be kind of what the Fed did and most central banks, where inflation comes hot and heavy, and it finally hits their shores, and they're going to have to actually move at a very rapid rate at some point. And I don't know when that some point is, but I can't imagine it's too far. I think I would assume it's somewhere, if it's going to happen, it's somewhere in the not too distant future where they start really feeling, you know, some price pressures with everything that's happening in the world and their low currency to boot. So anyway, really interesting. Maybe they will have to raise rates a little faster than expected, but you know, we'll have to see it. As far as right now goes, though, it's a tough trade, right? It's a tough trade to be long in.
Of it for as long as they don't make any more precise decision or so, you know. But I think Ueda is sending enough warnings into the market to take it into account.
Yeah. All right. Hey, real quick, just one of our traders, FR Teds in our chat room said, hey, we need to look at gold here. I just want to take a real quick look at it because it's poking its head up right into resistance. And then we're going to go into getting set up for today's data. But yeah, you look at gold. I mean, I know it's a tight range, but you know, ranges are meant to be broken, right, Dale?
Yeah, trend lines.
Yeah, and you can see this little tight range here, and we're probing the upper end of it. So once you start taking out, resistance levels on a tight range, it's like stops are here, 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 here. And once they start all triggering, and that's how momentum really starts, right? So you know, just be careful as we're in a really tight consolidation right now, and gold could risk. I see it's you know, we're outside of the pennant right now. It hasn't given us any follow through, but doesn't mean it won't. And you know, you look at the dollar, and you know, as Dale was pointing out very early of the show, it's been a little unimpressive as far as the dollar goes. You know, it seems to me like a little bit of a weak bounce. So we see any dollar weakness today following some jobs data, the unemployment report rather. We'll see. So let's pull that up. I know we have just probably a few seconds. Yeah, about 40 seconds. Ryan, any last minute thoughts here, buddy?
No, not really. If you're trading a quid, just watch out for the end of the presser. See what the pound wants to do when the last vestiges of risk headlines are over.
Okay, and let me just pull this data flash over from ForexAnalytix, and then you have the S&P 10-year, and then here's the dollar. Shoot, I did not mean to do that. There it is. Okay. Here comes the jobless claims, guys. No, should be right about now. See, 231.
Yeah,
Little
Yeah.
weaker.
little weaker.
And
Not
that
huge.
I'm telling you that, but this is the trend, right? You're starting to see weaker data, as we talked a little bit earlier. It's like we got to watch these unemployment claims. It's giving the market a little bit of a boost here. Yeah, New Zealand's starting to break higher. You got the dollars moving lower. And yeah, I mean, this is one of those things, guys, that it starts off small and it starts somewhere, right? Weak data starts somewhere.
That's
And
not
so
weak. That's not weak data. We've been
it
in the
isn't
two.
weak data, but it's starting to move. Like, how long have we been under 200,000, Brian?
We haven't. We've been in the 200, 250 mark for months and months and months. It was trending lower. We got down to 208k last week, and now it's bumped up a bit to 231. Continued claims still under 1.8 million. Only a 3k change. That's not weak data. If you think that's bad data,
Wait till we get to 400,000.
exactly. then it's bad data.
That'll be really weak data. But I thought we did peak. Oh, I guess it was a couple looks below 200,000. But yeah, I mean, look, today it's ticking higher. Yeah, I mean, what in most recent go back to last year. I guess last year we were up in the 250, 248 in August, so last summer. So I guess if we ever breach that 250 mark, then people might get a little worried, because that would be a breakout of a range trade, right, Ryan?
Maybe, mate. Maybe.
And again, it's got to start somewhere. Got to start somewhere.
Nice 4-hour candle and cable, and
your
euro not bad. So dollar fading, Canada lower now.
Yeah.
So
there's your
I mean,
147.
yeah, that may have been it in the dollar. That was close enough for government work. 580. Those 61.8 back about up there. So we'll see
All right.
how
Well,
it finishes.
Well, hey, she's on the move. So is Adam here?
I know it'll surprise you, but he's traveling.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, well, we don't have Adam, so let's just real quick, let's just talk a little bit amongst each other. I want to ask you guys, and I'll tell you what my best setup of the day is. Dale, what's your best setup of the day? What are you thinking right at this moment in time? Like, you got to be watching this the rest of the day.
I still like the Canada sale from earlier. I
Nice.
like the
Very well done.
euro short from earlier, and like you or Ryan was saying, that may have been it. We're not going to get to 61.8 in pound, so basically short the dollar.
All right, Ryan. I know you've been flat. I know I'm irritating you right now, taking you away from the Bailey's presser. But what are you thinking today?
I'm thinking maybe looking to fade this dollar move.
Woo!
Massive overreaction. Well, I'm already I'm short dollar via cable on my Bailey try. That's going through 125 now. But dollar CAD might be a bit interesting to add back to my longs. I'll see what this 137 level wants to do, and if not that, maybe down at 136.50 again.
Okay, all right. And then yeah, this let's see what happens here with the cat. K-Man, I'd be remiss without asking you.
I'm watching the game, having a beer. But no, I do like the cat somewhere around where is that? 136. I was looking at it. Let me quickly look at my chart where it is exactly. I think it's around 136.80 or so. And I might give it a try. Yeah, around 80, 85.
Okay.
Give it a go.
All right. Hey, one of the things I'm gonna I personally I've got a little bit short the US dollar, Norwegian krona. We have Norway's inflation data coming out bright and early tomorrow morning, like bright early tomorrow morning. Keep your eye on it. Remember, it's coming off the heels of a Norges Central Bank meeting that was a little bit more hawkish than the market expected last week. We have not been able to take out the 50% retracement. It looks like we can trade back down toward, you just do a simple ABC D move. It would look something like this. I'll just quickly draw it. Something like that. It would take us right back down to the support. So I think that Norway is worth keeping an eye on, since you might have some data overnight that will push it. And I'll have to tell you that this the euro looks like we could trade back. In my opinion, it could trade back up to 108. Remember, we do have
get
CPI
through 108. Blake, pull up the weekly. We get through 108. You can't be short euro for a long time.
Oh, I 100% agree, but I don't think that's going to happen until next week. Like if we got up to 108 ahead of CPI, like if we got up to 108 early next week, I wouldn't want to be long, because CPI is I mean, it's you know, we're rolling the dice at that point. I mean, you look at inflation data, all last month's prints, and this is a conversation I had last night with Chris Weston. Just go look at inflation, price pressures, G20. There are very few countries that have missed inflation, and would the U.S. be one of them potentially? But you know, globally, inflation is very sticky, so it's hard to sit there and go, okay, I'm going to be short the dollar ahead of CPI, that when the rest of the world is really showing sticky data. But we'd had it last month, so you know, who knows? But yeah, I think 108. I agree with you, Dale. We get much above 108. Mark Chandler actually emailed me, or not emailed me. He messaged me last week when we hit this 108 10 level. He's like, "Do you see that?" And I'm like, "Yep." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to short some euros here." You know, because him and I talk trades a lot.
Was he on sabbatical for a while? I saw a tweet where Mark come back.
He he manages currency hedging risk for companies globally. So he doesn't, you know, a lot of times he's visiting, you know, big companies in different places and telling them how to, you know, move their dollars or whatever. So yeah, I think he was off for a week or two traveling around. So
yeah.
Anyway, and Dance Bear said US dollar, Norwegian krona could use oil strength. Yeah, I think between the Canadian and Norway, they've really disconnected from the crude move, because crude's not really doing anything right now. I think if it got to 70 or got to 100, it might you know, bring in some correlation at that point. But right now, crude's kind of, I mean, it just ain't moving anywhere. But
I'm wondering if Dancing Bear is the same one that used to dance with Mr. Green Jeans on Captain Kangaroo.
I love Captain Kangaroo. What a great
remember the Dancing Bear?
Yeah, I remember Dancing Bear. I used to watch Captain Kangaroo when I was a kid.
Anyway, you're a great dancer.
All right, guys. Well, hey, Dale, thank you so much for guiding us today. And K-Man, Ryan, I know it's been a long morning listening to Bailey. I'm glad you guys are listening to him, and I'm not. I'm just watching your comments, and I'm not listening. So, you know, thank you for taking one for the team, guys.
That was Bunny Rabbit, Forex guy.
Oh, he's finished. Yay, Bailey's finished.
He's finished. Okay.
See you down the pub.
Well, thank him for providing a nice entry in cable this morning. Will you, for me? All right. And you know what, guys? You had some nice ideas, winning trades. You could book them down. And see, this is 30 minutes of being in a community. It's what it's like all day long. And this is only the beginning of the market. You know, the most important part of the market is not how it starts, but how it finishes. Get in the room. All right, so Richard is a scaredy cat. Be a warrior. Challenge a market. Say, okay, Mr. Market, I've done my work. Prove me wrong. You need that attitude to trade. Prove me wrong. I believe in what I see. I know where I'm wrong. I know what I'm looking for if I'm right. And you don't want this attitude. I hope this one works. If you're there, stop trading for a while. And don't just count your pips, count your blessings. See everyone tomorrow to wrap up the week. Team, thanks. Good
Thank you,
stuff.
Coach.
Good
Cheers,
stuff.
mate.
And I'll see you guys tomorrow. You're welcome, everyone. Good hunting the rest of the day. Adios, guys. See you, Dream Team.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Ryan. Came in.
See you. You're welcome, Shiva, Alexander, everyone.